Hello, class. This is Dylan, and I am beginning these last few lessons of the year in the spirit of application. Now, I know a lot of you are upperclassmen, you've got jobs, it's getting to be toward the end of the year, you're a little burnt out, it's a little tough to get motivated, and you're just wondering, when the heck am I even doing right now? Heck, I think about years in the future. People could be saying, who is this teacher's voice? And why does he keep talking about students' names that he had like 8 years ago? My math teacher's Amber. She's been that way for the last 5 years. Who is this Dylan guy? You know what? I just want to say hello, future. Would have been nice to meet you, but I guess I moved on, or I don't know. Maybe our school changed in a way that I'm no longer the math teacher, but hopefully this video will live on much longer than my tenure, and surely the tenure of this virus. Looking back years later, you got to be thinking, why are all these videos mentioning toilet paper and staying inside? That's so weird. And I hope that that ends up being weird. I hope one day people look back and just sort of make a memes about this because it's so funny. Because in the moment right now when I'm filming this, it's not funny. It's just reality. And I'm filming all these videos from the den of my house so that students can do their math virtually because we can't be in school. All right. Having said that, both during a pandemic and afterwards and in the future, we're going to buy things. In fact, today, this is April 20th, 2020, the price of oil just dropped to negative $37 a barrel. It sounds fake, but it's true. The price of oil's never dropped below $10 a barrel until today, and it's crazy. But even today, there are still people who need to buy things to sell things, and they need to know about percents, sales, and how to do some of this math pretty fast. I'm not going to lie. When you get out of school, a lot of this math is going to go away from your brains, just like it's gone away from your parents' brains. What you're going to keep is going to be what you're going to use every day. And a lot of that just involves money. Buying things, selling things, wanting to know what a good price is on a sale when you go to the mall. That is, if malls still exist in the future. So, we're going to focus the last few lessons on just basic things that are good to know. How to compare numbers of decimals, percents, fractions, how to calculate sales. Just fun, applicable, easy stuff like that. There's going to be a few problems every week. This is meant to not give you more stress in your life than you have from other methods. I get it. That's why I'm just giving you some nice little applicable review problems. So let's look at number one. Which number is the smallest? 1/2, 0.48, 3/5, or 53%. Now, I've found working with students, even juniors and seniors who've been doing this for most of their life, that they still have a really difficult time with problems like this. They don't know how to compare fractions to decimals. Well, I have my Desmos calculator up here on the right, and I hope that you're doing the same. It makes it incredibly easy because any decimal I could turn into a fraction, or a fraction I could turn into a decimal by just typing it in with a little fraction bar above it and seeing what you get. 0.5 is the same thing as 0.50. Then I got 0.48. 3/5, 0.6 is the same as 0.60. And then 53%. If I ever want to turn a percent into a decimal, I just divide it by 100. 0.53. So I've got 0.50, 0.60, 0.53, and 0.48. Well, 48 is smaller than all the rest of them. So it's that one. So in summation, just turn them all into decimals because we're used to money, and we're used to knowing that 48 cents is less than 53 cents, it's less than 50 cents, it's less than 60 cents. All right, what about these? I'm going to clear over here. 2/5. That's 0.4, so 40 cents. 33 cents. 25 cents. And once again, use this little division bar down there. 31 cents. 25 cents is the winner. Would you have known that just by looking at the fractions? Maybe. But hopefully everyone knows by just turning them all into decimals. All right, then problems like this. What is 70% of 60? So if I go into a store and I see that there's a 30% off sale, and I say, all right, I want this belt, but I still don't know if I can afford it. How do I figure out what 30% off is? Well, 30% off is the same thing as 70% on, because percents are always out of 100. And 100 minus 30 for that 30% off sale is 70. So then if you want to apply 70% on something else, here's how you do it. You type in 0.70. Of always means multiplying. So of times and then 60. Now, I really like problems like this because check out this hint. It's a little fast clutch shortcut, courtesy of your teacher, Dylan. All I'm going to do when I look at 70% of 60, if both numbers have zeros, and they often will when it comes to prices, this is the same thing as ignoring the zeros. Remembering that of means multiply, just like I said, and just doing 7 times 6. Oh, 7 times 6 is 42. I know that, and it says it right there. 42. Just like the next one. 90% of 80. I could ignore the zeros and just do 9 times 8. 72. That's it. Cool. And if you don't believe me, well, I'll hit check. But I'll show you. It's the same as 0.90 times 80. So you could ignore the zeros, you could ignore the decimals, and you could just multiply the whole numbers together. It's really quite cool. Let's try another one. Enter an answer in the response box that correctly fills in the blank. Stu has 80 marbles. If 40% of the marbles are green, blank marbles are green. So 40% of 80, 0.40 times 80, that's the same thing as 4 times 8. That's 32. Again, 0.80 times 40. And check it out, it's also the true 0.40 times 80. It ends up being the same thing. Basically, if you just remember to have the correct way of typing it in, you could do any order because multiplication is commutative. Lots of ways of getting the answer. Okay. Number 6. Now let's go up a little bit of a level. Let's go backwards. 50% of blank is 15. Let me show you first of all what's happening mathematically here. I told you that 50% is 0.50. That's true. Of is multiplication. That's true. Blank, I'm just going to leave blank. Is in math always means equal 15. So we have a game here. 0.50 times some number is 15. Now I could guess and adjust and type in my calculator 0.50 times a bunch of different numbers until I get 15. Or I can use SADME, the old algebra rules that I've gone over so far in this class. We are multiplying. I need to do the opposite and divide by 0.50. And if I do 15 divided by 0.50, 15 divided by 0.50, I get 30. And of course, you could have maybe seen that in your head. 0.50 times, if you had tried different numbers until you figured out what worked, and you finally plugged in 30, and you got 15, because that's what we wanted. Either way, your answer for this problem is going to be 30, whether you use algebra or whether you use guess and adjust. Very applicable strategy, guessing and adjusting when it comes to your everyday life. Finally, Yuki bought a new computer. It was on sale for 35% off the list price of $600. How much was the discount? So in this case, she's not trying to figure out how much you spend. That would be 0.65 times 600. In this case, she wants to know how much she's selling, or I should say saving. How much money is she saving? So then we are simply just going to do 0.35, because it's 35%, times 600. 210. So take your percent number, put it into a decimal, and then multiply it times your whole number. All right, when you've done that correctly, you should be able to submit and see Dun 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 dun. 100%. And there you go, people in the future. You can see this was done Monday, April 20th at 3:06 p.m. And it's the year 2020. Hindsight is indeed 2020 if you're watching this video later. As always, I hope this video, whether it's in the past, present, or future, finds you happy, healthy, safe, and well. This has been the Oxla math teacher, Dylan, teaching virtual class away from class. Best wishes in all that you do, and take care.